Big moves in Hollywood over the past weekend with Civil War breaking records with, well, actually, it's just a A24 record. And, I would love to see the drop off after word of mouth about this quote unquote film started to spread. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. It's not as divisive as it was originally positioned to be. Those messages are still very much there, but it's just kind of boring. Doesn't really have a plot. The characters are wafer thin, but yeah, it did well enough to win the weekend and fall precipitously off a cliff. And just for clarity's sake, I'm recording this Wednesday evening, and the fact that we don't even have projections for the rest of the week kind of lets you know what we're dealing with here. Yeah, it's probably not going to have too many legs, or it's not going to have great legs to begin with. But for the people that did encumber themselves and went to the cinema and checked out this tripe, they were greeted with a sight for sore eyes in the form of Kirsten Dunst. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Played one of the, major journalists or something like that. Like I said, I don't know. I just heard a couple of reviews in just how bad this was. But Kirsten Dunst was in it, and well, she doesn't quite look the same as you remember her. Okay, now this isn't a shade. This isn't me dunking on somebody for getting older. It's just what happened? The hell happened, man? Like, time has not been kind. Like, we just recently seen within the past couple of years, one of her more prolific former co-stars come out and look exactly the exact same way that he was the last time that we seen him in such a high-profile role. But here we have Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, sounding like a 3-pack-a-day smoker. Like, what the hell is going on here? Okay, we understand that, 41 doesn't quite look the exact same as 21, but your vocal cords sound like they got restrung with 6-gauge piano wire. It's not great. Kirsten Dunst fans are all in a buzz after hearing her voice sound different in a new video. We'll hear from that video very shortly because it's very important. The video was shared on TikTok, and BBC wrote that Kirsten didn't even think to ask for the same money as the boys she worked with. Oh boy, we're getting another pay dispute. A wage gap conversation. Great. In the video, Kirsten talks about how she was younger in Hollywood and there was a big pay gap. It really got fans talking as to how her voice has changed. And yeah, now that we set that up, might as well play the clip, of course. And well, yeah, see, there's a big difference. Okay, there she is on the red carpet for Civil War, and she's talked about this time and time again, how she just wants to age gracefully, doesn't want to have to go under the knife like a lot of actresses, a lot of her contemporaries have. And well, okay, when she's all dolled up, when she's all made up, it's like, yeah, she looks good for an older woman, I suppose. But brother, in action, better keep that wax figure more specifically on display. But here you have Kirsten Dunst complains that she didn't even earn as much as Tobey Maguire for Spider-Man for acting in a Spider-Man movie. Oh, that's a really dumb thing to say, huh?
Hopefully the way I carve my path will help other, actresses. But I definitely grew up in a time with major
Oh man, you remember those are the good old days, okay? 2001, okay? And yeah, it's a long time ago, but she always sound like that, like, okay, you got your waffles here, hon, okay? Would you like some syrup to go with that? What's going on, okay? What happened?
Pay disparity between the lead actor and myself, even though I had been in Bring It On and he hadn't. You know what I mean? I had more success in my box office than he did.
Oh, okay.
I'm still learning. When you're that age, I'm still learning my taste in film.
Yeah, I'm just still learning my taste in film. I had box office success with Bring It On, which Tobey Maguire wasn't in. And that's fantastic, right? Because I got the IMDb page pulled up for Kirsten Dunst. And obviously, okay, so there you have Spider-Man, okay, where 2002 it came out. Oh, right, yeah. It got delayed from 2001 because a lot of the promotion of the film had the two towers in it. And then, we all know what happened to the Twin Towers in 2001. But yeah, you take a look at her track record beforehand, and yeah, there you had Bring It On in 2000, so that was 2 years removed. And Well, a lot of the stuff before that, yeah, you know, she was a child actor. She was in the cut for a long time, okay? Yeah, in Jumanji, right? Like, she was a girl in Jumanji. Yeah, she had some success before, obviously. Things that Tobey Maguire would later go on to accrue. He also was in The Cider House Rules, Fear and Loathing, okay? Like, he had some hits under his belt, but there's something that she doesn't really point out. He's Spider-Man! He's Mary Jane. It's not called Mary Jane. It's called Spider-Man. He's the lead, so of course she didn't get paid as much as well-established Willem Dafoe. She didn't get paid as much as the guy who played Peter Parker, the guy who had the most screen time. Of course, man. And the fact that we have Spider-Man back in theaters, and I think Spider-Man 2 is supposed to be going back into theaters next week or the week after. Maybe, I think it's next month, okay? Mostly because Hollywood is out of new projects, partly due to the dual writer strikes, writers and actor strikes from 2023, delaying a bunch of projects, but also because, well, you take a look at the state of modern Hollywood, and the best that you have to put out is Civil War. I'll just say one of the best comic book superhero films of all time going back into the theaters for one night, and it pulls in $680,000 for a film that I think I've purchased at least 2 or 3 times over. Like, I got my Spooderman Raimi trilogy and Blu-ray for sure. I know that I definitely had the DVDs of the first 3, and I probably have another collection around here somewhere or another. And yeah, when it got released, those theaters were packed. It didn't quite have the same wide release that Civil War did, but I'm sure if it did, it would have done, you know, reasonably comparable numbers, because the film is great. The second one, even more so. The third one, well, the second one's great. And this past Monday, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was released back into select theaters across the country. And the film's re-release is part of Columbia Pictures' promotion to put all 8 Spider-Man films back into movie theaters over the next 3 months in celebration of its 100th anniversary. And they decided to pick Spooderman, so they're even going to put those TASM films back in the screen. Ugh, Amazing Spider-Man, not good. The 3 MCU ones, yeah, I hear pretty decent things about them, okay? According to multiple posts on social media, the film in the series had a major turnout for the one-night showing, yes, and fans were overjoyed to see Tobey Maguire's web-slinging back in action. Yeah, those posts were everywhere Monday night. People, if they had the opportunity to go see it, they did, which, yeah, limited release, $680,000. Now that's leading to rumors that Sam Raimi could be directing the 4th Tom Holland Spider-Man film. That would be music to a lot of people's ears, but then you remember that Sam Raimi directed Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, that was written by an absolute brainlet, so I would just temper anticipation. Spider-Man is always going to be popular, okay? Even when Marvel tries to replace him with Miles Morales, Spider-Man's still going to be Spider-Man. Miles Morales is always going to be Miles Morales, because Peter Parker moves books. Peter Parker sells games, sells movies, even 20 years on, continues to put butts in seats. It's not about anything else. It's a really simple formula. At any given time, he's the #1 or at least the top 3 best-selling superheroes. Marvel's singular character, okay, the best and most recognizable character that they have in their repertoire. And so when he gets on screen, yeah, guess what? He's going to be making a lot of money. Shout out to Kirsten Dunst. She was a fantastic Mary Jane, a hell of a lot better than Zendaya. If you want to complain about not getting the same level of pay as Spider-Man, I mean, there's countless other actors and countless other characters that have been portrayed in Hollywood that ain't touching Spider-Man money, and for justifiable reasons. So have fun aging gracefully, because while there were multiple Spider-Man films, many of which are going to be going back into the theaters, can't really say that Civil War 2 is going to be coming around. And oh, spoiler, she's dead at the end of that film. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.